you're in the news of obviously for good reasons. You have polled, and this polling we're talking about, you've done two things, but today we're going to focus on just one, which is the Bawumia one. Now, your polls are revealing some very interesting findings. Kindly share with us the highlights of these findings as far as the NPP's internal elections are concerned. And let us know whether, first of all, when did you do the polls? How many people you spoke to? And is anything likely to change based on what you have polled from now to, say, December? So these are just three questions in one. Before I bring in Dr. Kwesi.
Right, Moro. This is the first NPP delegate polls we've conducted after the 2024 elections.
Okay.
That are being made public. There are ones we have made, but we haven't put them out. These are the public ones.
Right.
We sampled 2,560 delegates. Okay. Sample.
Right.
We don't need to interview all the delegates, find out what they intend to do. As I've heard some people still making this sampling argument very daftly. And
that's our research.
It's still shocking, but this is Ghana we are in. These delegates were picked from 263 constituencies out of the 276.
Oh.
263 out of 276, randomly. So you don't get bias selection based on where you think you should poll. No.
Okay.
But to guide the system, we've allocated a sample to each region based on the weight of that region's.
Yeah. So that's the methodology and approach we put up on the screens.
Yes. So then the machine is restricted from picking a particular number of calls from certain regions, regardless of the constituency.
Right.
Randomly.
Right.
This was done through telephone interviews, and then the confidence level is 99%. And then the margin of error for this sample we have chosen is 2.4%. If you understand sampling and you understand confidence level and margin of error, you will know that this is a sample that will give you this margin of error. The interviews were done between 12th August and 20th August. Now, I will start by revealing some key demographics, which in the end underpins what is happening in the race. Because people tend to focus on the headline numbers. He's leading by 4%, 10% here and there, forgetting about the demography of the people we are talking about. The delegates are heavily male. 77% of the respondents were male. 23 were female. It means male dominates in our political party system in terms of the grassroots. Age profile. You have 18 to 24, just being 1%. 25 to 34, 17%. 35 to 44, 8%. So if you add these two, about 36% of MPP delegates are below the age of 44 years. 86%.
Yeah.
The remaining 74% are older than 45 years. In the country, about 75% of Ghanaian voters are below 35 years of age.
Okay.
In MPP delegates, it's the reverse.
Right.
So when you say that it doesn't reflect the feeling of what you may be hearing, what you are hearing now is from Ghanaians and typically MPP voters. They are not the same people who are going to elect the flag bearer. Those who are going to do so are aged 45 years and above. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Then you look at the educational profile of these delegates. 45% of them have junior high school qualification. Then you have 19% senior high. Tertiary, 28%. No formal qualification, 8%. So if you combine 45 of junior high, the most highest qualification they have, which sometimes you can even break it down to Science 7, it is a different type of... GSS is the broad category for those who done normal GSS and Science 7 people.
If you look at it as a pyramid.
Yes, a pyramid.
So you're talking about the base.
Yeah, the base.
Okay.
So it is either, it's total of 53% of the delegates who have seen junior high as their highest level of qualification.
Okay.
Senior high is 19%. Tertiary, 28%. Actually, the only demography that matches the national is the tertiary, which is the same as national average, and no formal education, which is slightly 3% lower than national average. So that one is fine. But in terms of junior high school, it's a complete reversal. So whatever you are seeing as normal is not what is happening in the delegates' population. Now, before we even went to say who would you vote, we asked them a few questions to enable us to get into their head to see what they could do if given the chance. We asked them whether they believe that there should be a wholesale changes in the party leadership.
Okay.
Just to see how these guys will vote in the end. Those who believe in changes in leadership will vote for the other candidates who are competing against the Bawumia and the establishment candidate. When you ask them, 30% said yes, they should agree that there should be a wholesale change in party leadership. But only 48% said no, there shouldn't be. So nearly half of the delegates don't believe that there should be a wholesale changes in the party leadership, which means general secretary is one, flag bearer is one, but the chairmanship, because it is not well, is sick. That is a bit of a different story. And you can see that reflected in the way the poll looks in the chairmanship race. But we did also ask them whether they believe that the NPP as a party has a chance of winning the 2028 elections. 93% of NPP delegates believe that they can win the next election, which is a very good place to be at for your people to believe that they can win. If this belief is not there, then you have a problem. Even if you elect the best candidate, there won't be any energy at the base to support you to mount a campaign in 2028. So there were positives for future campaigning and also a negative for those who want to have a wholesale change in the party. Now, on the general secretary level, which is being contested by the incumbent, JFK, he is on 44%. And this simply suggests that those 48% who say they don't want any changes, they want Justin Kudia to stay there. But you have a whopping 36% who are saying they are undecided. Now, it depends on where this number will swing to. But JFK is a lot closer to the end than the rest of the candidate. So you could put a bet on him because he's far, far ahead. The rest have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
When you come to the party chairmanship, because that place is going to be vacant, you can see a bit of turbulence there. There is no kind of convergent on any establishment candidate.
Okay.
John Boydu leads with 32%. With Nchibu Siakun second with 23%. Asamoah Boateng on 6%. Amoakwa Atta on 2%. Rod Boateng on 2%. Others 1%, or someone else 1%. But you have 34% of them saying that they are undecided. If these guys swing to any of these candidates, it could change the dynamic of the chairmanship race.
Right. We
don't know whether there will be new candidates entering the race.
Okay.
But so far, this is what we have.
This is what you picked up.
Now, interestingly, for the chairmanship race, Nchibu Siakun is behind in Ashanti region, in his own region.
Who's leading the Ashanti region?
Ashanti is John Boydu.
Okay.
And in Central region, John Boydu is leading in his own region. So you can see that Boydu is leading in his own region and leading in Chairman Wontemi's region. That is for me the highlight from those chairmanship races.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Then the presidential primaries for NPP. Look, we don't put words in the mouth of delegates. We just speak to them and tally what they tell us. And we account for everyone's responses from the conversation we've had with them. From the responses that we had from this 2,500 sample, you can argue that the sample is small, you can go and do your 10,000 or 20,000, that is fine. But the people we spoke to, 52% of them said they would vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That is what they told us. We did not add any single vote to it. We didn't take single one from it. When it comes to candidate point, it was 17% said they would vote for him. Openly. Brana Champon, 3%. Edichum, 1%. The rest were near zero. Not exactly zero, but we run it up near zero. But 18% of them are saying they are undecided. 18%. Which means there's work to be done by all the candidates in terms of getting their numbers up. But then 9% said they knew who they would vote for, but they wouldn't tell us. And this is not the first time. We've come to know this trick, so we always have that question when we do NPP delegates. There are those who say that we won't tell you.
And your hypothesis oftentimes is that those who don't disclose would most likely not vote for the winning candidate.
Yes,
that's always been your hypothesis.
They will vote for they appear most cases to be candidate supporters.
Candidate supporters. Yes. Okay, all right.
Now, again, if you look at the race by region, that's where it gives you an insight. So forget about the headline numbers. Dig deeper. Where am I strong? In which region? Where are those people who are sitting on the fence? Where do I find them? You need to have data about which region has the highest number of undecided, or I will not disclose. Right? And whether you need to go and do extra work there. Because truly, you can attack every region the same way you attack Eastern, Central, Greater Accra, Ashanti region. So for the campaign strategists, they need to know where to go. And when you have gone there, who are you targeting? What age groups are these guys targeting? What is their educational background? Does people's educational background impact the way they are voting? And if that is the case, what kind of message do you have to take to those people? Because you don't take intellectual argument to people of junior high and no qualification. So the kind of message you want to send out, you must kind of reframe it to simplify it for these guys to understand. If you go to an area, we say, oh, this area has a lot of tertiary education, tertiary level delegates, then you elevate the argument to a different level. But we've seen people go to the same places with the same message. And this is political communication misfiring. You must know there's something they call KYC in banking. Know your customer. We should have KYD in politics. Know your delegate before you go to them. At the moment, I don't think they're doing that well. You know, you go to a place and you carry a message, and that message is sticking to every constituency, every region. Who told you that this region, that's what they want to hear?
All right.
So the strategy really, I don't think is really working.
Yeah.
They need to go back to the drawing board, look at the data if they don't have it,
okay,
and then see, okay, when we go to Ashanti region, what are the issues?
Right.
In fact, those who say we should maintain the current system, do you even know which region they are in? You don't know the region that you can find these guys in. So when you go to the region with the highest number of let's retain them, you must have a different message. If you go to areas with the highest level of, oh, let's remove them, then you know this is a fertile ground for you to make inroads. All these people just don't use it, and they just focus on 13%, 2%. Meanwhile, the work that needs to be done is in the data.
Right. Right. There's certain things that, as a matter of principle, you don't like to do, which is to advise people publicly. And the only way you put it, anytime we've pushed you to the wall and say, what should politicians do with the work that you do, you have a way of saying that, well, those who believe in science know what to do, and those who don't believe in science also know what to do. And that's how you've always ended. You will not go beyond that. So I won't even bother to ask you. But let me speak to Dr.